Paperboy was an arcade game by Midway and Atari made in 1985. It was a very popular game and was heavily ported to many home and handheld consoles over the coming years. But out of all the remakes and ports, the one that is best remembered by many is the one for the NES. And it just so happens that I own Paperboy for the NES. What a coincidence. Paperboy has 7 levels, Monday through Sunday. You deliver paper to the subscribers, who have white houses, and not to the ones that are non-subscribers, they have red houses. Who in their right mind would paint their house in accordance to if they were a subscriber to their local newspaper? Doesn't make sense. But anyways, the game gets increasingly more challenging as the days go along. More obstacles are thrown in your way and you can easily die if you're not paying close attention. Now I know a lot of people always talk bad about how the controls for delivering the papers work, but it's not that hard. You just need to have good timing when throwing the papers into the mailboxes. The game only has one theme, and yes, it's repetitive, but I think it's a classic, and definitely one of the most recognizable themes for the NES. Some of the obstacles are pretty questionable, like the guy on the street. What is he doing? And the guy with the jackhammer. Or at least I hope that's a jackhammer. I wouldn't be doing that in public if that isn't a jackhammer. But the funniest obstacle to me has to be Death, the Grim Reaper. Or even the tornado. But then again, the obstacles are what makes this a bit of a classic, because some of them come out of nowhere. Now, a lot of people over the years have criticized this game due to its difficulty and its outdated design, but for me personally, it's one of my favorite games that I've played for the NES. I remember playing it at a friend's house when I was young, and I had a blast. Sure, I had no clue how to properly play the game, but I still had a great time with the game, and I played it from time to time on ROM sites over the years. And eventually I got it for my NES and had a blast playing it when I knew how to properly play the game. I've practiced enough to almost never miss the mailbox unless I get an obstacle that comes at me from off screen. And I only recently got the Game Boy port of Paperboy and have been playing the hell out of it. Sure, it's not as good as the NES port, but it's still pretty fun. It's Paperboy, but just handheld with some limitations. By the 90s when the Super Nintendo came out, we got Paperboy 2. It was vastly different than the original in terms of design and structure. It looked better, but it played a little differently. It was still Paperboy, and it was still fun, but it just lost a bit of the charm of the original. But I have a lot of nostalgia for the second one, so I'll let that pass. To me, Paperboy will always be one of the most classic NES games they ever made. It doesn't ask a lot of the player except their attention to what's going on. To me, this will always be a game that I associate with the NES due to its fun gameplay, nice visuals, and iconic theme. One that I'll often replay when I'm bored, or when I just want to play on the NES. And that was the Paperboy game. I've really liked making this video, it was pretty fun, I've always enjoyed those games. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a message of some sort in the comments, that'd be pretty cool.